Okay, I just want to say a few things. So first of all, the symbolism, that my mother went. Well, we could still feel Simchas Torah. It's within a week. We'll talk about how it was very apropos. She went in the Hemshech. I think it's in the Bala Akeda that that says the Chag HaSukkos, right, is the it ends off the three regalim. It's the last of the three. That's where it ends, and it's called Chag HaOsif. That's when the regalim end, right? The ingathering, the festival of ingathering. That's where the regalim end. What does that sound phonetically similar to? The regalim end with Chag HaOsif. Vayesof raglov el amita. Right, which is a biblical phrase when a person dies. Vayesof raglov el amita, gathers the regalim, get gathered. Because the pshat is like this: that the legs is what we need for olam hazeh. When you're in Shamayim, you don't need legs, right? Legs is for earth. All right, and during the regalim, we try to elevate our earthliness. That's why it's called aliyah l'regel. Aliyah is trying to elevate our earthliness, but we're still leading earthly lives, and we were created, to face the challenge of earthly life. And then when you're done at the end of it, so you gather your legs in, meaning that everything that you used your legs for, which is your ma'amad, your status, your standing in olam hazeh, you gather it in onto the bed. You take it to Shamayim with you. Everything that all the chomrius that you use for constructive purposes, right? And that's what Sukkot is relative to the three regalim. The three regalim represent the cycle of life, just like it does agriculture. Aviv, when things first, Nisan, Pesach, Chodesh Aviv, things first blossom. Shavuos, Chag HaKotzir, harvest, and then Sukkot Chag HaOsif, when you gather it in, and that's agriculture. It corresponds to the human being. Birth, Aviv, like budding, birth. Pesach is our national birthday. Shavuos, Bar Mitzvah, we became Mitzvah in Torah, right? And the first day of Sukkot, is the Sukkot is like the chuppah. It's like when you get married, right? And then and the 7 days of Sukkot again become as like a microcosm of the 70 years of a person's life. And this it says in the Bala Akeda, 70 years. That's why during the 7 days of Sukkot, you also are makriv shivim porim, mamash connected the days of years of a person's life in olam hazeh. We know shim prakeh shivim umos because the dear wife. Anyway,
don't in North Korea understand the dear leader. Sorry, okay.
Anyway, the olam hazeh is space we share with goyim. So 70 years of olam hazeh, and you contend with the shivim umos. You share space. Just comes Shmini Atzeres. That's connected olam haba. The Elef Hashmini, the 8th millennium. Right, where we're alone, and there's no goyim anymore. But that 8th millennium is not olam hazeh. That 8th, so we say on the 8th you go back into the house, whereas during the 7 you're in Diras. Right, well the 7 are connected to olam hazeh. We have to realize it's all temporary. Our real house is up there in Shamayim. So that's what it means, that Akash Hu says Koshalai Pridaschem, stay one more day. Well, how's that going to help? Well, no, because on the 8th we reach the level of Shamayim, right? And then there's no separating anymore. You separate, within space. You get out of space. You get Lamala. That's the Madrega of the Shmini, right? And that's, and you take there, and that's our house, and Am Yisrael's real place is in Shamayim. Not in, here it's just the Dir Asarai. Our real place is up there in heaven. And that's what it says in the Zohar. Rabbi Lazar asked Rabbi Shimon, his father, Ban Asar Asher, so what's the makam of Klal Yisrael in the cosmos? And Rabbi Shimon answered with a pasuk from the parsha we just read. Vayitem Osam Elokim Birkia Shamayim L'Hayar Al Arts. Am Yisrael is like the stars. That's our place. We're in Shamayim. Aretz is just a Dira Sarai for us. And that's what you take. You take at the end. You gather in everything you accomplished in your life in Olam Hazeh. It's called Vayesof Raglov. And that's the end of the Shalosh Regalim that represent the cycle of life. At the end of Chag HaOsif, you reach the 8th. and you take everything you did in Olam Hazeh, with you. Everything you use your legs for. You need your legs for Olam Hazeh. You don't need your legs for Shemayim. You gather it in. Chaga Aseh V'Esov Raglo Velamita, and my mother was zocha to that. But what's next on the calendar, right? What's next on the calendar is Chanukah, Miloshen Chinuch, right? Miloshen Chinuch. Right, an amazing thing we just read, and with this we'll understand a little bit, how we go back from Zosa Bracha back to Bereshis, right, in a cycle, right? We say, in Zosa Bracha, Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe, Morasha Kilas Yaakov, right? It's an inheritance, for Kilas Yaakov. Yerusha Ein La Hefsek. Yerusha has no. And that's the Rambam uses that pasuk as a raya. You can only count as a mitzvah saying it's noheg l'doros, because that's to fit the criteria of Morasha Kilas Yaakov. A mitzvah is only l'shah, let's say for the midbar, can't be counted listed target. It's not Morasha Kilas Yaakov, because it's not like Yerusha Shein La Hefsek. It's a Rambam. Right. So so now it's amazing thing, as my Rebbe Moshe Shapiro points out. How do you give Yerusha? Dafka the histalkus. Right, is what triggers Yerusha. The Misa is what causes Yerusha to kick in, and it becomes that of the next generation. Right, so it has to be that when a person leaves this world, he leaves a inheritance behind, a spiritual inheritance. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu did. All right, so how do you do that? So now, the concept we say that's the concept of chinuch. That the chinuch is actually what the one door bequeaths to the door that comes after it. The Rambam says, it's a Rambam in the Mar Nevuchim. We just read the pasuk that Vayel Adam ben he was 130 years. Vayol b'dmuso b'tzalmo. Right, Adam at the age of 130 was that was Sheis. So the Rambam asked in the Mar Nevuchim, why is only Sheis called b'dmuso b'tzalmo? What about Adam Rishon's other kids? It's the only guy in all those 10 generations that's called Betzalmo D'Muso.
Sorry.
Right? Only person in all that generations. Says the Rambam, an amazing book, is in the 7th parak of the first chelak of the Meirah, because Sheis was the only one that was willing to be makabel the Torah of Adam Rishon. So it's called that Adam Rishon, was molid his tzelem. Our tzelem Elokim comes from the Torah that we learn. The shape of our body is not our Tzelem Elokim. Our Tzelem Elokim is our values, our ideas, and ideology. That Adam, transferred his Tzelem. Vayol b'dmuso b'tzalmo is because he was mechanech Sheis, and Sheis was willing to be makabel his Torah. That's called Vayol b'dmuso b'tzalmo. The other, kids of Adam weren't willing to be makabel his Torah. So it's not called the Tzelem Elokim. He says, and that's the Indian, he writes in that same paragraph, of all these 10 generations, from Adam until Noach, that they all went wild, and it all went off. And he says they were subhuman, they were humanoid, but they didn't have a Tzelem Elokim, because they weren't willing to be makabel the Torah of their predecessors. All right, and so now the Tzelem, is what's passed on by chinuch, and that's the difference between chinuch and limud. Right, chinuch and limud is just to teach. Right, just to learn. What's the term chinuch? Right, we also find by Chanukah Sabayis. So the Sfarim say it's particularly in the writings of the Piasetzner. Chinuch is when you internalize it. Right, it becomes a part of you. Like Chanukah Sabayis, right, Chanukah Samishkan. They put the kedusha into the mishkan. They put the or in the kli. A mechanech puts it doesn't just impart information. He puts the or of Torah into the kid. Right. All right, and that's called, and that's his legacy. That's his chinuch. That's called Vayol b'dmuso b'tzalmo. He's giving birth. He's triggering a legacy. All right. So now Chanukah, as we point out in the parsha sheet, that we just wrote, Chanukah begins, the cold cycle, right, the dark side of the calendar. The dark side of the calendar. Historically, also, when did Chanukah happen? During Bayis Sheni, we lost Nevuah. Right, we lost the whole hanhag of Torah Shebechsav. Nevuah stopped. The Torah Shebechsav stopped expanding. The last book of Torah Shebechsav was Purim. That's why Esther Sof Kol Anisim. So Gemara explains Sof Kol Anisim Shenitnu Li Kosev. The last of the miracles that are allowed to be written in Torah Shebechsav. Tkufa ended. There's no more Nevuah. There's no more Ruach Hakodesh. Right, and that's and it sets in the dark side of the calendar. And that's what Chazal say. Hachoshech Zu Yavan. Right? But Hanukkah is a sign, right, that even though there was a histalkus of the or, there's the Vayasaf Ragav Elamita, right? There's a Vayasaf, Chag HaOsef was all gathered up, but that door that got gathered up, or that madrig got gathered up, left behind a legacy. It left behind a legacy that got internalized. It got internalized, right? And that's what Hanukkah, and that's why we said in the parashah, Hanukkah is mamash a mirror image of Sukkot, right? So that's why Beis Shammai says you light 8765 Keneged Parei HaChag. It shows that Sukkot left an imprint. It left something behind. It left, and not just stam epis, so left behind, but it left something behind that got internalized, right? In those left behind. It's Vayoled B'Dmuso, it sounds like they beget. Right, and that's the end of Hanukkah. That's what Hanukkah proved, that even though we lost Nevuah, right, and seemingly there's no difference between Torah and Chochmas Yavin. They're both just philosophy because we lost the Nevuah aspect, right? No, Nevuah, as it were, left the Roshem, and it was Mechanechas. It left an imprint upon us, right? So now, so we mentioned that Chinuch is as basic to the human condition, right, as humanity itself. It's as old as Vayol B'Dmuso B'Tzalmo. So Ram explains that's only Ayidei Chinuch, right? But like we said, only Shais was Matzliach, right? So now what happens to all those 10 Doros from Adam until Noach, right? All those 10 Doros that went wild, right? So they have to come back and get their Chinuch. And that was already foretold in Sforim, right? That the door of Ikvus and Mashiach are all Gilgulim of those 10 Doros. And that's why Chutz B'Yazge, the kids are wild. The kids are wild. It's all from the neshamas of the Alpayim Tohu. They're all meant to come back and get their tikkun, and we have to mechanech them, right? The chinuch that Adam Rishon wasn't able to impart, right? So that's what Moshe Rabbeinu has to do, right? Moshe Rabbeinu has to give now the spitz of Moshe Rabbeinu's achievement is not just to give the Torah to goodies, right? But Torah tziva lanu Moshe morasha kilos Yaakov to ad sof hadaris, even to those daris that are going to be gilgulim of all those tough kids, and that's the kids of today. It's amazing. The Sforim that talk in the Sprach already said 100 years ago, they're back, they've arrived, right? And that's the door of Ikvus of the Mashiach is all those 10 doors, those wilder big koiches, but they need a special chinuch, right? A special chinuch, right? Is the and if they get the special chinuch, they'll be even bigger than the goody doors, right? And that's saying that after Le'nei Kol Yisrael, we go back to Bereshis, that the spitz of Torah is going to be when the Or of Torah will be chal on those doros of the Alpayim Tohu. All right, so now it says there's Alpayim Torah, Alpayim Mashiach. The 2,000 years of Mashiach is the inyan of taking the Or Torah and using it to be metakin those 26 doros that came before the Alpayim Torah, that they should also find their tikkun. Whoa. Right? And that's saying that we go back from Le'nei Kol Yisrael back to Bereshis to be metakin those 26 doros, right? That's to conquer. Right, those doros that need tikkun, right? That the Or Torah should be chal on them also. Right. So so that's the right. So that scene of Hanukkah that comes after Sukkot. That the Or of the Gimel Regam should be chal on this half of the calendar that does have a right, and it's called like being metaken the doros of the Olam HaTohu, right? That they should also find their tikkun. Right, and that's the koach of chinuch. Right?
Should we finish it outside?
Okay, sorry. No, so I mean, I'm gonna send you a recording. I'm recording every word.
Yeah. The rest, because we gotta go to the gate.
We gotta go get. Okay, whoa, gotta go. All right. So the all right. All right. So the and that's the koach of chinuch. That's the right. You got my bags?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. The art of chinuch is to be able to. All right. Take care. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Yossi.
I'll get the PSA.
All right, fine. Take care, guys. Right. So the art of chinuch is to be able to put the or of Torah into any kli. Right. Even a kli that is wild. Right. So now, how do you do that? Right? So the way to do that, right, is to push it, never give up. Never give up on the kid. Right? And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu did. It's part of the Torah Tzivonu, that Le'enei Kol Yisrael. Everything he did for us. He did Shviras HaLuchos, right? But Chazal say that those luchos that he broke, he also wrestled out of God's hands. He stood up against God for the sake of Klal Yisrael. Wow. He fought even the establishment of God. Chazal say that by Chet HaEgo, right, he told HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's your fault. It's your fault. You gave him the Dizov, you gave him too much gold. It's your fault, Ribono Shel Olam, right? He told him, what's so bad about an eagle? The eagle will help you in running the world. Right? He said amazing stuff, right, to stick up for Klal Yisrael. Right? And that's what it made it. Morasha Kilos Yaakov, he made the Torah stick for all generations, right, because he's not giving up. Which kid are we? Right? He is not giving up. Moshe Rabbeinu was not willing to give up on any Jew. And that's what gave him the clock to be Morasha Kilos Yaakov. His Torah is forever and ever. Right? Right. So B31. Well, B31.
Okay. Well, you have to get through here, okay, and then you have to follow the signs to B31.
All right. All I just want to say is, I wanted to say to everyone, Ellie, I want to tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Right? When I was...
I'm leaving him here.
Yeah, hi. This is me.
Is there any way also, he's just running very late for his flight, his mother is on the plane. Is there a way that he can...
What time your flight?
12:30.
But they're boarding at 11:30. Yeah, he's totally fine? Yeah,
What?
so they just got him scared?
12:30?
Yeah.
Okay, go to business.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
right.
you very much.
Okay, fine. Where are we going? Going straight here? Okay. I just want to say, I was willing to say it's B'fnei Am Ve'eda, right? When I was 5 years old, I was declared uneducatable.
Really?
I had tremendous learning disabilities.
Really?
And I had all learning, dyslexia and hyperactivity.
Come this way.
My mother's body's on the plane. My mother's going.
Yeah, he's running. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, but I just see one.
Oh, I'm not going to the plane. I'm
Just one person.
To where he is? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, this is where we call it done.
Okay, I'm just saying, my mother was Moser Nefesh from my chinuch, never gave up on me, because I'm one of those neshamas from Olam HaTohu. And my mother always told me, I fought for you, I never gave up on you,
Really?
Fight for your kids.
Really?
And she told me, tell your Talmidim
Oh, is that
to
what
never...
she said? She said that?
She always wanted to say, give
You
a
okay
message.
with this? You got to put one.
Tell your Talmidim to never give up on their kids, no matter how bad they are.
Really?
If I did it for you, you do it for your kids.
Really?
Pay attention to it for their kids.
Wow.
And that was the
That's
message of
beautiful.
Chizuk I wanted to give for the ADHD generation.